After numerous delays, Uncharted 4: A Thief's End has finally arrived on the PlayStation 4 to critical acclaim. Touted as the final entry in this enduring franchise, is this truly the adventure we've been waiting for?
Sic Parvis Magnum.
Sic Parvis Magnum.
Yeah.
Penned by the directors of The Last of Us, A Thief's End has a surprisingly more realistic tone than any of the previous entries in the series. Nathan and Elena have moved on from their lives as treasure hunters, in favor of a quieter, more relaxed one. But when Nathan's brother Sam returns after his apparent death during a prison escape, the chase is on to find Henry Avery's lost pirate treasure in order to pay off a life debt.
Nathan, I'm in a lot of trouble here.
What? What are you talking about? What kind of trouble?
It's a solid story, one filled with some fairly predictable twists and some that you genuinely won't see coming. Though some of the more supernatural elements found in previous games are sorely missed, Uncharted 4's plot allows the ragtag group of treasure hunters to cover a fair amount of ground, from snowy hills to forgotten jungles to the rolling plains of Madagascar. Unfortunately, A Thief's End suffers from a few pacing issues as it attempts to cross the finish line, but despite that, Uncharted's peaks and valleys are expertly crafted, propelling you through each environment with deft precision. While Uncharted's shooting mechanics remain largely unchanged from previous titles, Naughty Dog has put an increased emphasis on mobility, with Drake's grappling hook stealing the show more often than not. With this new mechanic in tow, you'll be able to quickly move across chasms or propel yourself into more advantageous positions during combat. While previous games have you engage enemies in a somewhat linear fashion, many of the gunfights in The Thief's End take place in wide, open areas, allowing you and your adversaries to flank each other in some pretty spectacular ways. And with your allies in tow, each fight feels very different from the last. The size of each area also allows stealthy players to mark enemies, hide in tall grass, and maneuver themselves appropriately in order to minimize detection.
What the?
But the increase in space isn't just reserved for fighting. Uncharted 4's design is very different from its predecessors, with sections allowing you to explore and more open space than the series has ever seen. Of course, you'll be led down some fairly linear areas to advance the plot, and given a few simple puzzles to solve before moving forward, but for the most part, you'll have multiple avenues to reach your destination, as well as a few hidden nooks containing treasure or other collectibles. In this way, A Thief's End seems to draw heavily from the design of The Last of Us, but with the exception of finding a hidden weapon with incredibly limited ammo, there's not much reason to explore like there was with Joel and Ellie, who actively needed to search for supplies and resources in order to stay well stocked. From the facial expressions to the sweat dripping down characters' heads, the amount of visual detail here borders on obsessive. Coupled with the rumble feature, you'll feel the impact of every faulty jump and every punch. Everything here, from the smooth animation to the environmental design, is absolutely nailed. Not to mention the interactions between each character feel very natural and in no way forced, especially in Madagascar, where conversations and smart quips come a mile a minute.
Keep it slow, keep it in the center.
Yeah, there's a lot of backseat driving going on. We're good. Everything's good.
Jesus Christ.
It's all supported by an amazing soundtrack that hits the emotional highs and lows of each moment with power and gusto. The level of polish on display here is absolutely astounding. With some mild pacing issues here and there, Uncharted 4 isn't a perfect game, but it's easily one of the most finely crafted experiences in recent years. Few developers put this much heart into their product that actually seeing the result is nothing short of incredible. But more importantly, it's a worthy send-off to one of gaming's greatest and most relatable icons.
You good?
Yeah. Let's Let's get out of here.